Straight Out, this is Justin Reed Faulkner, and today I'm going to be giving you my initial reactions on my first time watching Stranger Things Season 1. This will include spoilers, so be sure to click away if you haven't watched it already. But also, make sure to comment down below if you have watched it. What are your thoughts on it, including spoilers? Please don't spoil any sequel seasons to this already, but I'll be sure to get around to those sometime this next month as I review and lead up to Stranger Things Season 4 that's already coming out. I think Season 1 starts off with a great note with setting up the boundaries of what we're going for with the style and themes of this movie, and just with Will Byers disappearing in the first episode, and just the dynamic you get from all these friends with Will, Dustin, Lucas, and Mike just being a casual sort of friendship, having this Dungeons and Dragons type of game, and families divided between each of them that they come through as friends, creates such great dynamic between what we're going for, a divide between what we're setting up for just within this season alone, but also as we're knowing that we're going into more future seasons, foreknowledge just going into this so late in the having watched it so late in the game, knowing what's going on, even though I have heard nothing about this season or the future seasons, just coming into this generally, just as my experience. And overall, I just enjoy what we've gotten so far. Just the mystery technical elements that sort of create a different wanting to discover more about the show and the characters, and the balance between the characters are well written, just with Hopper being the police and having been sort of new to this town for a while, and just the way we're going about the expertise of the characters and who they are, it just creates so many different subplots throughout the show. But the way they divide up and implant different plots throughout the episodes here and there, focusing on one character group and another character group, is well balanced, I would say so, for its own means. And while it can be a bit slow paced at times, I wouldn't say there's necessarily anything drastic that should be cut out just for its own sake. I feel there's enough substance to each scene that they really know what they're going for, how they're setting up each character, and what each moment means for that character or character group, just with the moments of the initial friend group sort of being losers to some characters being beat up, and we're introduced to this 11 character, this who has telepathy and telekinesis, just this girl that it comes from this experiment, and we find out later is a survivor and known to be actually named Jane. That I just was surprised that moment, the way they reveal that, and the sort of flashbacks they have with Jane, or 11 as we know her, is just really well done, and it reminds me of some of the writing that I do personally with my own novel, but just in how she uses telekinesis is just really well done and well suited for the appropriateness to the characters and who she's willing to trust and what she doesn't know initially, being so blindsided by this new world and uncultured to civilization. The way they deliver her character, not speaking so much quite at first because she's not so trusting of much people, being so trained and submitted to by all of these scientists' experience, and having to be submitted by that, is creating such a depth to her that makes her sort of hold herself back at first to these friends that she's making with Will and Mike and Lucas, and just the way they're going about, and Will being gone for pretty much the whole season doesn't add too much value to his character, but we care enough about this because of what we're getting with the friend group and how much they're showing he is a value in their life, and that builds up to the importance that I get to feel for his character going into this story. And Hopper being a little bit of a playboy and trying to get these other women, by the end I sort of felt a little bit more intimacy between him and Joyce Byers, so I'm just getting predictions out there with possibility that he and Joyce possibly get together, but I'm not entirely sure, just with the way they didn't entirely try and force it, but the way they did that was really interesting, the way they were hanging out a bit more often, and then also Mikey Levin having a little bit of romance there as well. Not sure if they would actually go along and be more intimate in that relationship, but I'm really intrigued what they're doing with those. And then having Jonathan as the brother of Will expressing emotions, and then Joyce being out of control and being the one to really create this fantasy of hearing Will and others not believing him, making complete sense to what is going on in all this fantasy. But I just highly enjoy what they did, creating that letters and making the upside down people being able to light those lights, and then creating this suspense with the Demogorgon. And of course, unfortunately, I know what the Demogorgon was going into this, because it's such an icon now that I've seen it enough that it took some of the largeness out of watching this for the first time, that I know what the Demogorgon looks like, and so hiding it for so long throughout the whole plot, it didn't do too much wonders for me. But it still was interesting, the way, knowing if I didn't see it, what it would feel like. And I did get some of that wonder of, because they're hiding it for so long, I did get the suspense of the threat, especially as I got to see for the first time what it can do and how it's going about using its power and sort of transporting between worlds and what they're doing with that. I really appreciate the other dimension type of aspect that they're going with this film, and just the way they use the false will buyers from the evil science lab lair. That I just highly enjoy what was all going on with the aspects that you're getting between both sides. And there's not necessarily a strong evil-sided villain, unless you look at the Demogorgon from the Upside Down. But even those don't have a speaking part, to where they sort of are just evil for the sake of being evil. And I've heard rumors about other villains being in the Upside Down, but we'll have to see what my thoughts are on that as I get into future series. But so far, I just highly enjoyed that dynamic we're getting so far. The slow pacing is just here and there, but overall, a solid first season that keeps my attention going, makes me want to learn more, wants to make me learn how much more intense these seasons can get, as I've heard big things about future seasons. But overall, for season 1, I have to get it a solid 8 out of 10. Let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are on this season. Just a recap of all your thoughts. And you can include spoilers, but avoid leaving spoilers for future seasons that I have not seen thus far. So that's just my personal thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you have enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe for future seasons of Stranger Things reviews, as well as other things. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.